Hi, we're going to go over the Myers-Briggs type inventory in a little bit more depth than we did earlier. So, the learning objectives for this whole week are just to learn different personality types and specifically learn your own personality type. But I want you to keep in mind too that it's important to know that to give the grace, I guess, to other people, because they have different personalities than you. Not everybody's going to think like you do, want to do the same things that you do, react to situations the way you do. And so understand that we can't all be the same and allow them grace for being different, okay? We need to recognize how our personality traits are going to relate to our career planning, and hopefully identify some college majors that we can take a step forward on. You don't have to decide your be all end all of your life's career at this moment, but we should have some type of clarity on the path that we want to take and making steps in that path. It's okay if you want to change your path and go on a different path later on, but it is important to make a decision and move towards that decision. And of course, when we're doing this, we want to match our interests to those occupations, right? So, let's see. Let me get into this slide a little bit. Just looked at that. Okay. Here we go. So, the Myers-Briggs type indicator, it is based on a theory brought to us by Carl Jung. I've heard it pronounced Jung, which I know Jung is incorrect, but it's J-U-N-G, and he's a theorist. And back in I think it was the 50s or 60s, we really started to take a turn on career development. And so that's why the personalities really connect well with the career development so that people can love what they do. Back in the day, the jobs that you would have would be the ones that were in your local area because we didn't have transportation even back in the day. So if your family were farmers, you would be a farmer. Even though if you did not want to do farming and say you wanted to do sports medicine, and you had the abilities, the skills, the desire, the passion for sports medicine, you couldn't really do that because we didn't have the transportation and the opportunities that we have set forth before us now. And so things changed. Once that changed and we had the ability to, more people would go to college, right? That was accessible to all, and that's what community college is all about, is being accessible to all. So once we had that access and those opportunities available to us, the career development movement really began to flourish. And so, again, tying that back into the Carl Jung and the Myers-Briggs, your personality kind of defines and your interests define what you are going to be most happy at doing for your career. And we know a job is different than a career, right? Okay, so it is an assessment tool. It's not a test. I know the 16 Personalities calls it a test, but there's no right or wrong answer. You can't pass or fail. You either do it or you don't, and here's the results of it. And those results are based on your personal answers to those questions, right? What you like and what you don't like. It was developed, again, this one is designed to identify your personality preferences. And that's a key word when you're talking about the MBTI. It's a preference. So the first dichotomy in the MBTI is extrovert and introvert, E or an I. It's not you're only an E, you're only an extrovert, but there's a preference scale. So depending on how you answer the questions, it's going to tell you, do you really prefer to be in an extrovert mode, or do you prefer to be in an introvert? And you could be right smack dab in the middle as well, where you can work well on either side. So it's a preference. It's not a one or the other. So keep that in mind too. This was, again, developed by Catherine Briggs and Isabel Briggs Myers. I believe it was her daughter, a mother-daughter team. and they based it on the work of the Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. Okay. Okay. I got this from a Pearson book called the Career Fitness Program, which is what we usually use, but trying to make it more student friendly and using the online version, we use the other book that we have today. But let's see here. Let me pull all this stuff up. Okay. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'm going to briefly breeze through them. You can stop this video anytime and read through all the details of it. But the first dichotomy, as I mentioned, is extroversion. It's how you get filled, how you receive your energy as an extrovert or an introvert. So you have your extroversion. Oh my gosh. And you have your introvert. Okay, again, it's a preference scale, not one or the other. Okay, because you can be an extrovert and still need your downtime and like to work alone on a certain few things. Your second dichotomy is sensing and feeling. Sensing, some information on sensing there. And the second one is, intuitive, which is noted with the letter N, but just that is what it is. So intuitive, the traits of an intuitive person. Then you have thinking and feeling. That's the third dichotomy. So here's thinking. And this is feeling. The fourth dichotomy is judging and perceiving. And if you go back and you watch those two little videos, it really explains well the different dichotomies. And it's not what we just think from the title of these two dichotomies, but it is deeper than that. So definitely go back and watch those videos so that you fully understand the MBTI. Judging and perceiving, again, are the last set of dichotomies. So when you're looking at exploring your majors, your first and your last letters of your personality type, they indicate your preferred style of exploring majors. Like I can attest to this. I'm an ESFJ, so an EJ would be my first and last letter. And declaring a major early, you'll want to know exactly what you're going into. Where if you're an EP, you want to check everything out before you make a decision, right? You're going to perceive, you're going to look around and see what's out there and dabble in everything and find out before you make that decision. And IJ is also researching those majors, a little bit more research than the actual experiencing it with the EPs, right? I's are more introverted. They're going to do some personal research, where an E wants to actually be in it and experience it. And an IP would delay the decision while you consider all your options. Introvert, perceiving, check it all out, process it internally. So they have, those are the two outside letters of your type code, and then the two inside letters are called the heart of personality, and you can do some Google search on that and learn more about the heart of personality if this interests you. It's pretty cool, actually, and I think it's pretty spot on most of the time. Okay, now I want to get into interest inventories. So your personality is how you like to do things, how you perceive the world, how you make your decisions, things like that, right? That's your personality. Your interests are like what is interesting to you. Do you like art or do you like data entry, right? So interests are a little bit different. This is based on the Holland's type code, and this is what you're going to get when you take the O-Net Interest Profiler. Okay, and it's called RISEC, or different people say it different ways, but it's RIASEC, RISEC. And they stand for the different areas of interest when it comes to careers. Realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. When you take it, you're probably going to find that you are a combination of 2 or possibly 3 is usually what it comes out to. Sometimes it's only 1, and sometimes it's a lot, or, you know, none. When you take these assessments, make sure you don't stay in the middle. It's like, yes, that's kind of me. Yes, that's kind of me. Yes, that's kind of me. Try to lean towards more one or the other as much as you can. It won't always happen, but as much as you can. Don't take too much time in thinking about the answers to the question, because you can start processing. Just go on that gut feeling, okay? So, Holland interest environments. All right. Keep doing that. Realistic, and then we're going to go through the next couple slides. Is going to tell you each about individually what they all stand for. I'll leave it there for a second so you can stop the video if you want to read more about yourself. There's tons of stuff on Google, though. You could search this for days. But the websites that I'm giving you, the O-Net, the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the 16 Personalities is fun, but there are other ones too that will give you more information on that. Creators, sociable, enterprising, right? Those are probably the salespeople. Conventional, the ones that are like the methodical stuff, organized. And you be a combination of them. And so what's nice is that tons of this Myers-Briggs type inventory is very valid and reliable. Some people don't agree with it, or, you know, there's always pros and cons to things, and people will say yes and people will say no. Biases, I guess you could call them. But many times over and over and over, these assessment results, and people have said, yes, that's very much like me. So that makes them very valid and reliable, that they've been done over and over again. Okay, interest clusters. It's so nice to be able to express and enjoy your personality through the vocation that you choose. We tend to be attracted to those occupations that are going to fulfill us and our personalities and interests. And like I was saying before, the people that have taken the test before you and have said, I love being a lawyer, if you answer the same questions in the same way, pretty much, then you're probably going to love being a lawyer too. So, world of work, I'm not going to get into that. Do your passion, I can only attest it. Okay, that's enough. Instead of the world of work, we're going to look at, the instructional pathways. That's what I want you to go back to again as well and look at those instructional pathways, okay, as I mentioned before. The RISEC scale. Also, I want you to know, the computer's not working very good. O-Net. With the RISEC scale, real quick, if it's ever going to come up for me, they go in a circle, right? The RISEC circle. And you'll notice that typically your code type, your letters, will be next to each other. So you probably will not be artistic and conventional. So anyways, I think that's very interesting that they are next to each other. But, okay, well that's it for the MBTI, and I will post the information for the Bureau of Labor Statistics so you can get some more information on that as well. All right. Happy Google hunting. Talk to you later.